Hey guys, how you doing? We're gonna try something different here. So every end of the week, like Friday, maybe sometimes Sunday, what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to have maybe like a weekly debrief, sort of. And if you're in the military, you've had plenty of those debriefs before. But basically, I'm gonna try to cover and update you guys on different things that have happened throughout the week that maybe we weren't able to cover. Just because it's really hard to cover everything that's going on. So much is going on. Through every single day that even somebody like myself and probably like yourself who tries to keep themselves in the know and, the search for the truth, you can't freaking cover everything. And we're not going to be able to cover everything at these, weekly debriefs, just things that I think might be very important to us. So it's something I want to try out. Tell me if you guys like the idea or not. But let's jump right into it. So let's start off with Turkey leaking the U.S. base locations within Syria. I don't think the U.S. should even be in Syria. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right away. But another thing, why the hell are we still allies with Turkey? I have no idea why. Erdogan, their leader, basically rigged a vote to give himself supreme power. We had that coup that was just over a year ago. And when it was going on, I was thinking to myself, like, man, this is a really poorly executed coup. Like, how they think this was going to work out, And I thought, man, this is real weird that a NATO member, somebody as strong as Turkey, would have a coup like this. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait, this is obviously fake. It's a fixed coup. It was never meant to come even close to becoming a real thing. And it was just, Erdogan being able to wipe out his opposition and basically give himself supreme power, which he later did, 4 or 5 months later through a rigged vote. So I have no idea why we're even remotely allies with Turkey. I don't know why they're in NATO. They seem like they're getting closer to Russia, closer to Iran, closer to China than they are to the United States and its Western allies. So I think that the Turkey alliance, I think it's crumbling. Honestly, guys, I don't think it's going to last much longer. Basically, it's an Islamic caliphate. We're not going to mince words. That's why I truly believe it's a Islamic caliphate, guys. Moving on from Turkey, we're going to talk about Iran a little bit because the U.S. came back and said that Iran was complying with the Iranian deal that the Obama administration put in when it came to their nuclear ambitions. But we still slapped them with sanctions, which I thought was odd, mainly because the reason they slapped them with sanctions was because Iran has been testing missiles, kind of like North Korea, but not nearly as the same rate. They're doing it at a much slower pace. But what was weird to me was, okay, we're saying they're complying, but we're also sanctioning them. It seems like you're trying to play both sides of the fence here. And the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, one of their generals, came out and stated that, it was basically an act of war. These sanctions were going to have consequences. And basically what we're seeing there is, in that region, the U.S. is kind of in like a tumble, it seems like. Ever since Obama's administration and his 8 years of basically just sitting back and not really doing much around the world, which it has its perks, not policing the world, but at the same time, you're losing influence across the world, and other players are starting to, notice, and they're starting to step up, like Russia, like China, like Iran. Even North Korea thinks that they, got the cojones to move a couple notches up the international ladder there when it comes to influence. So we're not doing too well with Iran. We haven't for a long time. This isn't anything new. And it's not new for Iranian officials or generals to basically come out and say that, they're going to go to war with America or destroy the American evil axis. But we're putting sanctions against them. The big news here is we're putting sanctions against them, but we're also saying they're complying with the Iranian deal that was set up before. So it seems like we're playing both sides of the fence. Doesn't seem like Iran's going to be too happy about it, especially because that whole region's a mess right now. We've got the Syrian quote-unquote ceasefire in the southwest region. which just seems like a huge joke. It really does. Then you got like we were just talking about before, Turkey's disclosing U.S. base locations. Yeah, this is one big mess after another, and it's something that we're gonna have to see how the U.S. responds to these different crises that are happening within that Middle East region. Another small thing I wanted to bring up is the fact that North Korea, they came out and snubbed the South Korean peace talks, these invitations for talks that they wanted to have, and called them nonsense. So they actually officially came out and basically said, hey, guys, this is nonsense. We're not going to do it. That's a small part about North Korea. We've talked about North Korea enough. On to other pressing matters. Russia and China are currently in the Baltic Sea. They're doing naval exercises right now. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how there's so many world powers that are trying to get ahead when it comes to geopolitical influence in the world. China and Russia have been becoming closer and closer allies. They've done billion-dollar deals when it comes to their military. They're doing these naval exercises. A lot of their policies when it comes to the international world seem to be lining up close to one another, And Russia and China are the U.S.'s main rivals in the world when it comes to geopolitical influence. So this is a disturbing development. It's a provocation. Well, like I talked about 4 or 5 days ago. It's a provocation, but the U.S. and its allies do stuff like this all the time. So it's a provocation, but it's not without cause. Both sides do these provocations. They happen all the time on both sides. And Russia is concerning to me, but China is even more concerning, especially with what they have going on with India right now. India and China have a standoff in the Jammu region. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But this is a region where both, are not standing down. They both basically are shit-talking one another. China is like, hey, we've beat you before and we'll beat you again. And India is like, hey, we're not the aggressor here. All right, we're not going to let China step all over us. We know China wants to be the big dog in Asia, but, we're up here too. We're not going to let you step over everyone. And they see that China's been doing this in the South China Sea, when it comes to North Korea, and now in northern India. We all know, Chinese mainstream media has come out and made India the aggressor, said that, China's willing to go to war, that Indian national pride is getting too large, so we're going to have to see what happens with that. It doesn't seem like that's going to end anytime soon. But guys, I feel like I've gone on long enough here. You're probably sick of hearing my voice. These are just a few of the stories that I thought were important that you guys need to know, that we should really talk about. I'm here to inform you guys and to give you my opinion, but I'm not here to tell you. I'm not the end-all, be-all. All right, I'm not the mainstream media. That's not what I do. So, if you guys want to check back, come back. We try to update you guys on the different crises happening around the world on a daily basis here. We're just trying to seek the truth, baby. You know what I mean?